Hello and welcome to Taking to School with Dr. Tom Pritchard. I'm your host, JP Job Haas, with the two-man power trip. And of course, joining me, the star of the show, former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Pritchard. Dr. Tom, how you doing today, sir?
Doing great, John. How about you?
Pretty good. I can't complain.
You
I
know, I
think
started
you
thinking I saw Dutch Mantel with a cigar earlier today, and I thought maybe I need to have a cigar in my mouth or a pencil or something like that. You know, some kind of other gimmick. Because every time it's the same thing, and I keep telling you, I don't know what else to tell you except I'm good. How about you?
right.
Right?
Dutch trying a new gimmick, huh? Now he's going with the cigar. He was trying to be Cornette for a minute. Now he's trying to do the cigar gimmick.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I thought it was kind of cool, so I
Yeah.
figured something like that. Let me see if I can get a pencil. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe tap the pencil. Anyway,
Yes. Ibsen, by the way, says hello,
hello,
and
Ibsen.
and I'm back. I'm back, baby.
Hey,
Look
did
at
did
that.
Ibsen ever explain what he was doing? Hello,
Picking up a
Mike.
family member at the airport. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Mike
Okay.
D. Hello, Mike D. Hello, Eric Tate. Hello, Brendan. Hello to Jason. Hope you're both doing well. Hope you're doing well as
Always,
well.
Jason.
For those wondering, I was at the Philadelphia airport weeks back to pick up a family member from Mexico. Nice,
Ah,
nice.
okay.
A man that is named Deleted says he's here for Bam Bam, which I promised a little bit of Bam Bam Bigelow talk. He actually, this month he was born. We were going to get together. We had some things going on in our lives where we weren't around. I know you were at Bray Wyatt's funeral, I believe, down there in Tampa. I had a prior engagement, so we were going to talk about Bam Bam since he was born this month, September 1st. A couple
Huh.
people, Mike D wants to talk about Bam Bam as well.
Yeah, you talk about a talented guy, a talented big guy. I mean, uh,
Evening Zip
how?
and John.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was having to take a second. That's real funny. Yeah, you're so funny. I forgot to laugh, man. Yeah. But Bam Bam was a big guy. He was a talented big guy, and I knew him a little bit when we were in WWE. Always seemed like he was knew what he was talking about, and he was talented as hell for being that big and that agile or agile, whatever. But being that agile, no wonder. I mean, he was. I think he was one of those anomalies.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Brendan is saying Bam Bam was great in the movie Major Pain. Could have done more in movie roles.
Yeah, I think so. Bammer
He had that
probably
awesome look.
he did have an awesome look, and he could play those kind of parts because those kind of people exist. It's obvious.
Mike says he loves Bam Bam versus Virgil matches. Wow. I
Well,
was gonna I was gonna throw out there like him versus Bret Hart when Bam Bam fought Bret a few times. Those matches
well,
were
I think I think that's
Virgil.
probably one of Mike's guilty pleasures. That's what he's talking about. So,
Virgil of all people. I mean, I don't remember them being pretty good, but wow, Virgil.
well, why not?
Ibsen has an interesting point before we go back to Bam Bam. He says the reason why Dutch was sporting a cigar was that he was speaking on the worst podcast, saying that Conrad was number one on that list. I'm not sure what that means or how that's even possible.
No, I think Dutch. I've seen him a couple times with a cigar, more times than just that.
I don't know if Conrad would be on the worst list. I think he might be on the best list. I would imagine.
I would think.
Brandon says the story with LT shows how much talent he has. Yeah, you were
Yeah,
there. You were there at that point. Isn't that funny? Like that was the main event of WrestleMania 11.
yeah,
Bam
it
Bam
sure
versus Lars
was.
Taylor.
Yeah, but I remember when they shot the angle and nobody knew it was happening. LT was great.
Really? What do you mean? They didn't clue anybody in?
No, no, it was just LT at ringside, and I think it was when LT stood up and said something, right? Like he went up, put his hand out to the Bam Bam, and Banner pushed him, and everybody thought, oh shit, it's just one of those things. But at least that's what a lot of people thought.
They kayfabe the boys on that one. I love
Well,
that.
sure, but it wasn't for long, because then it became, WrestleMania, yeah, all right. So, but I mean, it was well executed. It's done really, really well, and LT was into it too, obviously.
Did you think that the match was good? I mean, LT gets blown up quick, so Bam Bam is like carrying him big time.
Yeah, but the match was what it was supposed to be with this football player who might have been in football shape but not wrestling shape. Certainly two different things. It played out exactly how it was supposed to, and it was authentic. It was real. But you had to do what you had to do, and Bam Bam did it. Bam Bam pulled it off.
Love it. Ibsen wants to know, how was Bam Bam backstage during your 1993 run?
Bam Bam was always cool. I was always cool with him. We rode together a few places. So yeah.
Any extracurricular activity going on with Bam Bam?
No, not at that time.
No, oh, no smoking, nothing. Wow.
No, no, because he knew this main event was a big deal. He didn't want to do anything to mess it up.
So you reserved that for just you and Mantar, not you and Bam Bam.
Well, when I was with Bam Bam, he didn't partake.
Oh,
Yeah, he was really being serious about the match, and he wanted to make sure that nothing got in the way, which I can respect.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, by all means.
Roy wants to know, would Bam Bam be considered the best big man wrestler in your opinions, John and Dr. Tom?
Certainly one of the best big men. I mean, you got a Brock Lesnar, uh, you had Ernie Ladd, who was a really good big man. But if you're talking about that size, that shape of guy, yeah, I guess Bam Bam would be certainly considered one of the very best big men of that time.
I got to throw him in there too. I always thought he was one of the best, if not the best, big man. I always considered Vader up there, obviously, as
Vader,
well.
yeah,
Andre the Giant, Undertaker, but I don't know, Bam Bam, like quote unquote work weight wise or in ring wise. I feel like him and Vader maybe the two best.
probably so for those kind of body shapes and that type gimmick. Big, raw, rugged, hefty guys. They surprise you when they're in the ring, stuff like that. So I could see that.
Brendan saying, when I was younger, I always loved his feud with Doink and Dink. A little campy, a little bit corny, but yeah, it was fun for what it was.
Yeah, for what it was, and I'm sure Bammer was going to make the most of it too. So, and he could do that.
When you look at it, that was kind of more of their cartoony stuff. But they do bring in Luna, and you do see a different side of Bam Bam too. But a little corny, a little campy because this is Doink as that pure baby face with Dink, and for the kids kind
But
of thing.
I think Bam knew he joined the circus and midgets and all the freaks and geeks that went along with it. So he was. I'm sure he was game for it.
You were there wrestling at Survivor Series 1995 when Bam Bam quit after his match with Gold Dust. Bam Bam, quote unquote, confirmed this in his shoot. Were you shocked that Bam Bam quit the WWF in 1995?
I honestly didn't know that he quit in '95. I wasn't. I guess I wasn't paying that much of attention.
He had a lot of issues with the Click, apparently. They did not quite get along. He was supposed to get a bigger push. They kind of killed that off for whatever reason, but apparently that was the crux of the issue with Bammer.
Well, it's possible. It's very possible. Sounds feasible for this time, but I mean, there was a lot going on back then, and the Click was a big part of it. They were calling the shots, and I guess Bam Bam didn't like it.
Deleted. Vader and Samoa Joe are the only two I can think of other than Bam Bam as far as being top big men of all time.
Yeah, Samoa Joe's pretty good.
Oh yeah, of course he's
But I
great.
mean,
I don't know if
yeah,
I consider him. I mean, I guess he is a big man, but I don't know. Vader
not,
and Bam
yeah,
are like super heavyweight.
not in the same body shape, or not in the same weight class, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, those are like super heavyweights. Those guys. I mean, they were talking 300, 400 pounds here.
Yeah, what's Samoa Joe weigh?
Probably about 290, something like that, maybe somewhere around there.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's close. Oh, Mabel, he's thrown into the hat, and Yokozuna thrown into the hat.
Yeah, Yoko. Sure.
Uh-oh, are you ready for this? You
Sure.
ready for this? Hello, gentlemen, from Bo James, the king of Kingsport.
Who are you calling
Hello,
gentlemen
Bo.
here?
Hello, Bo. Why did you think he didn't click with fans as a babyface in 1987 and 1995?
I don't know if it was just Bam Bam's attitude that he's from Jersey, right?
Yep,
You know,
my
yeah,
hometown, right as of right now, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Yeah,
right.
yep,
So I mean, sometimes it's just an attitude that you carry with you, and everywhere you go, sometimes you can't shake that, and people know you either are a baby face or you're not. And I think Bam Bam was really a baby face in life. He was a great guy, but I think it's hard to be a baby face sometimes when you're feeling like a heel, and that's how I think he felt.
with him too. I know he was in a little bit in Dark Side of the Ring. I know it's been some of his shoots, but I've talked to several wrestlers of that era, of the Hogan era, if you will, from the '80s and the '90s. And Bam Bam, they were always saying was kind of getting heat in the back because he's a quote unquote rookie at this point. I mean, they kind of bring him in from Memphis, and he's wrestled other places, but he's a rookie to them. And they're like, whoa, 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 why is he in Survivor Series main event '87 with Hogan? Why is he doing tag matches main event? Like there was a lot of jealousy and a lot
Sure.
of kind of animosity towards him because he got a good push when he was younger. And I guess Hulk saw something in him and he liked him too. So he's like, yeah, let's put this guy in the main event.
Well, he had a great look. He had a great look, and he could work. So why not? And I can understand jealousy and envy and all that stuff, but that's the entertainment business. That's the sports entertainment business. That's always been pro wrestling. I don't think anybody can deny that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brendan says he puts Yoko up there for one of the best big men.
Sure.
Barbara saying, Dr. Tom, so good to see you. Sorry I'm late. Hope you're doing well.
No, we're late, Barbara. We're about 3 weeks late. So
B40 saying Mantar up there. Your old buddy Mantar up there is one of the best big men. Interesting.
not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not
R.I.P.
sure.
Mantar passed away a few months ago.
Right.
Man, 2023 is just crazy. Just to kind of get off top for a second, all these
Yeah.
crazy deaths. Your buddy Brett Sawyer just passed
Brett,
away.
yes, Brett just passed away too, and I thought, who's next? What's going on? This has been a crazy year.
Awful. Terry Funk, Lanny Poffo, Iron Sheik, Superstar Billy Graham. I mean, Jerry. I mean, what a terrible year for wrestling. Whew.
Yeah,
Bray Wyatt. I mean, I can't forget Bray Draws. Oh, awful year.
yeah. Let's hope we don't
Yeah, let's
have
just
to do
get
too
skip
many
to
of those.
2024 here, right?
Yeah,
With no
we're
more.
almost there.
From Roy, what do you think held back Bam Bam from being a heel world champion, even if only a transitional champion?
I think John just touched on it. Maybe the jealousy and envy, and uh, didn't have the right people in his corner. Didn't have the right people saying, "Yeah, he should be." And that just, I think, again, goes by with sometimes people saying, "Oh, he's not ready for it." Then they listen. So
Why do you think everyone compares Bronson Reed to Bam Bam Bigelow besides the build?
I didn't know everybody did compare Bronson Reed to Bam Bam, but I can see the comparison now. Okay. I don't
You know
know.
what it is though. Bronson Reed, his new tights had kind of the flames on it, so I think that's what's in everybody's mind
Okay,
too. I know
because
he's a
yeah, I
bigger,
didn't.
bulkier guy like Bam Bam, not as tall as Bam Bam, but like a big dude like Bam Bam.
Right, right. I seen him with. I didn't know everybody compared him to Bam Bam, but
Recently, because of the tights, for sure. But he
yeah.
does do some high flying like Bam Bam as well.
Okay. Well, then I really don't know. I don't know what to think about people comparing him to Bam Bam because I think there was only one Bam Bam Bigelow, and Bronson doesn't have the same look exactly. I mean, it's similar, but I think that's about it.
Was it a mistake to make Bam Bam a face in the WWF back then, or should he have been a heel?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a mistake, but it was something they had to try because the hotter you are as a heel, I think the rule goes the hotter you be as a babyface once you're turned. But I don't know if that's the case or not with Bam Bam. It's just one of those things. If you're not feeling like a babyface, it's going to come through no matter how hard you try to work it. At least that's my opinion, and that's why I think he just wasn't feeling being a babyface.
I always thought, I know he obviously he leaves in 87, 88, and he's gone, but I always thought him versus Hogan would have been a money feud. I mean, he just looks like he'd be an awesome opponent for Hogan. He can move, he could bump. I mean, he would have probably been awesome in the 80s feuding with Hogan.
What? Yeah, and just you can see the marquee, this tattooed guy with a flame tattooed on his head, Bam Bam versus Hulk. Yeah, that's a perfect matchup. So why they didn't do it, who knows?
Was or did Larry Sharp put him back in, or put him on the map back in the day? Monster Factory guy, Larry Sharp guy.
I guess. I mean, did Larry give him his first break?
Yeah, with the Monster Factory. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if he put him. I certainly without that first break, he wouldn't have got on the map. So
Do you consider Larry Sharp one of the greatest trainers of all time?
I don't know how Larry Sharp trains. I know Larry Sharp, but I've never been to one of Larry's classes.
But a lot of
So
good guys came out of the Monster Factory, though.
yeah, you're right. But
Have you ever seen the documentary on the Monster Factory with Danny Cage, your buddy?
I have not yet. Is that on Netflix too?
No, that's on. See, I don't have Apple TV. That's on Apple, so I haven't been able to watch it. I have Netflix, so I have seen Wrestlers with Al Snow and OVW. I know you got to watch that. I highly recommend it. I thought that was great.
And you, how many episodes are there?
7,
Okay, so and
about an hour
so that's
apiece.
yeah, they're binge watching,
Yep,
binge
big
watching
time,
stuff. Yeah,
big
good.
time.
Okay.
I feel like you would agree with
Well,
a lot of Al Snow stuff. Well, I know you know him very, very well, but I feel like you would agree with a lot of stuff he says in the show.
probably so. Probably so. Yeah.
The biggest reason for the jealousy was the money back then, working with Hulk Hogan, correct? He's making more money. He's a rookie. Like, why is he getting to work with Hogan and making this kind of money?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be said anywhere you go. So I'm sure money. It all goes back to money. It all goes back to what where you are and what spot you're in, and how your ego is going to handle that. And make no mistake, you had to have a ego to be in that spot, but you have to know it's going to be coming at you left and right, jealousy and envy, and everybody trying to knock you down because everybody wants that spot, but it's it's not easy to get or easy to stay at.
Many wrestlers would say in shoots that Andre never liked Bam Bam. He would rub it in people's face. He got Hogan money. He was on the A cards, on the A house shows, if you will. Is that true? You think Andre maybe just didn't like him and that's kind of deep pushed him as well?
Well, if that is true, which I don't know it to be true, then that would explain a lot because Andre's word carried weight. So if Andre didn't like you, then chances are you weren't going to be used real well after a while. I think.
Barbara's saying Skandar Akbar passed away, but he passed away many, many years ago. She
Yes.
actually means General Adnan. General Adnan passed away.
General Adnan. Yes. 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 Yes.
From Deleted again, it's crazy because the pro bodybuilding world had an unreal amount that also passed lately. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't either. But
2023 is just a damned
it's a
year.
brutal year, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Brutal year.
Sam says Sir Oliver Humperdinck was in his corner down in Florida. Sir Oliver Humperdinck was in his corner in WWF too. I don't know if he necessarily needed a manager, but he did a little bit of magic for him in the WWF as well.
Yes. Yep. 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 Yep.
Great question here from Matt Hall, who has a great picture here. Did Dr. Tom Pritchard ever body slam Bam Bam Bigelow?
That would be a no. No, I never body slammed. I never wrestled Bam Bam.
You wrestled with him, a part of Survivor Series 1994
Yes,
for the $1 million team, and you guys defeated Guts and Glory, but you never wrestled against him, right?
never wrestled against Bam Bam. No.
What do you think about teaming with him? Did you love teaming with him?
Well, it was just one night at the Survivor Series. How could you not? I think Mabel gave me a cross body block pretty soon. I was out right away. So,
Yeah,
no, it
that
was
was a quick one.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a quick one.
You always hear from wrestlers that get eliminated from matches quickly or the Royal Rumble quickly. They love it. Same pay, and you're out of there early, right? I mean, that's kind of
Well, it would have been nice to have some time in the match, but either way, it was what it was, and so I was in no mood to argue or contest any agreement uh, that had been precluded before we had prearranged whatever we had prearranged. How does that sound for an answer?
I freaking love it. That's great.
There you go.
Off topic. What did Dr. Tom do for his birthday month? Excuse me. I didn't forget it. Wow. Last month. What did you do?
Oh, our birthday was just like another day, but we had class that day. It was on a Friday. I taught class. And uh, we had some cupcakes that this guy brought for the birthday. Matt Bowens came and brought cupcakes for my birthday, and we had cupcakes and watched wrestling. We
Love
trained.
it.
Yeah,
Love
we
it.
trained. So we did.
Phil, good evening. Hello.
Phil?
This is a great point here by B40. He's saying, do you think Bam Bam getting the main event with Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania 11 was kind of the reason for the HBK Diesel clique messing with him because HBK and Diesel, which was WWF Championship match, went on before them,
Right.
thus not being the main event of the evening? You think that's why they didn't like him and kind of messed with him?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me in the least. It makes sense, but I couldn't tell you if it actually happened or not. But wouldn't surprise me.
That had to have pissed them off and definitely kind of.
Sure, I would think so too. And what are you going to do?
Jason says Bam Bam also rescued children from a burning building, burning himself in the process. He was a hero as well.
Yeah,
Great
I agree with
story.
that.
I
Yeah, I
remember
agree with
reading about
that.
that in the paper. That was a great story. Scorch says, I didn't realize how much Bam Bam enjoyed working with Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, well, I think it was not only a challenge, but it was I think, enthusiastic Lawrence Taylor working with Bam Bam. So he was having fun, main event in WrestleMania. I mean, of course, he enjoyed working with him.
To be honest, LT might be one of the greatest football players of all time. If he's not the best, he's in the top 5. So if you're a football fan, you're Bam Bam, which he
Right,
was. It's probably like, holy shit, I get to work with Lawrence Taylor. That's pretty amazing.
right. So yeah, I think he enjoyed it very much.
Barbara, Matt Bourne said Bam Bam got him fired for drug use and Bam Bam took drugs himself.
Well, once again, this goes back to that jealousy and envy, but I don't know about the circumstances. I don't think Matt would have any problem getting fired all by himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing
Yeah,
the stories I know about him, I think he could
exactly.
do it by himself without
Yeah, he
any
doesn't need
help
any
from Bam
help.
Bam.
No.
B40 says Andre was a legend, yes, but he always seemed to be petty at times, hating guys like Big John Studd because he stepped over the top rope.
Well, all the top guys could be petty at times, I think. And
Oh, yeah.
Andre had his special place in the business, and he was the boss. And if that's why you didn't want him to be hot at you, you did what you could so he wasn't.
I
And
remember Tyler Rex, who I think now goes by Gabby. He was saying that he had heat with Cena because Cena didn't like the way he was doing his finisher. And he goes, "What is that?" He goes, "Oh, it's a version of the Burning Hammer." He goes, "Oh, stop doing it. It's too much like the FU." So so guys, they protect certain stuff. If you're doing
right,
stuff that even looks like what they're doing, it's just the way the business is, even now.
right, it is. So that's to be expected.
Uh-oh, Blake Hansen says, my LinkedIn connection, Dr. Tom Pritchard, the living legend. Wow. LinkedIn of all things. Nice.
You're not with LinkedIn, John?
I'm on there. I don't know if I'm connected with you though. Now I'm gonna have to
Well,
double check.
yeah, we want to check that.
Yeah,
Well,
now I'm gonna have to double check. Shit.
yeah.
Did you ever hear stories of Bam Bam being a bounty hunter?
I've never heard any bounty hunter stories, but I've heard he was a bounty hunter at one time. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, they covered in the Dark Side of the Ring. His family said it was true. Yeah.
Okay. So
Man,
yeah.
him and or Dr. D. David Schultz, if I had a bounty on my head, I would not want those two guys. Those two nuts coming after me. Oof,
No.
scary.
No. Yeah, it's real scary. Both of them coming after you at the same time. I didn't like that.
Roy says, you gentlemen have a good night. Dr. Tom, you may not like the zip gimmick, but that was how I was introduced to you, and I liked you over Skip, Chris Candido. You looked jacked back then. All right. Fair enough.
All right, there you go, Roy. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a sensitive topic sometimes, That's all right.
ATF says, do you think if Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin punched Lawrence Taylor, his head would have snapped like Joe Theismann's leg?
There's a possibility Ronnie could have snapped his head. Yeah, I would have bet on that one.
Hands of Stone.
Yeah.
He's speaking about a guy I love. He's a great one. Pretty underappreciated throughout the years as a legend, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Right,
Ronnie Garvin.
right. But I mean, I think when he was doing his bit in Knoxville, right before everybody jumped, uh, he was pretty over in Knoxville, and he was very much appreciated. And
Oh, yeah.
people around here still remember Ronnie Garvin.
Del Mountain. I've been watching the Netflix series Wrestlers. We just were saying before. I wonder how similar JPWA is to OVW.
Not very. I think we do a lot of the same kind of training, but we do. We don't do shows like OVW, so they have to get ready for shows every Thursday. And they've got an ambitious schedule. They really do. Uh, they, I know they run every Thursday.
Yep.
And they have. Are they still doing the spot shows?
Yeah, some of them. Yep.
So that, along with having somebody have to drive the ring there to the town, have everybody set it up, have the show, have everything run smooth, draw. We don't do that part. We just train.
How did Bam Bam treat Luna Vachon off camera?
Well, I never saw him treat her bad. They were always cordial off camera, nice to each other.
Phil says, word is that LT was blown up like crazy. Bam Bam was fine. Yeah, you could definitely tell in the match Bam Bam is carrying him.
Right, but
he was getting blown up, yeah.
I thought that was even better, showing the guy who was in shape in one sport, out of shape in the other. I thought it brought drama to it.
Yep. Cool finish too, because it looked like LT was like exhausted. Yeah.
Right.
Matthew, hi Tom.
Hello, Matthew.
Rick Brooks. Speaking of friend of Brett Sawyer, Rick Brooks is a friend of his. Why did Andre's opinion hold so much weight, since he was always moving from territory to territory as a major attraction?
Well, because Vince McMahon Sr. booked him out. He was booked out of the New York office back then through Vince, and Vince acted as Andre's booking agent. And you had to get Andre, you had to go through Vince McMahon Sr. And Vince valued his word very, very much. And then when Vince Sr. passed away, Vince Jr. also valued Andre's word.
So Ibsen saying here, Bam Bam has said in 1994 at SummerSlam he was going to win the tag team titles. They were going to beat the Head Shrinkers, but the Clicks got the belt the night before. So again, the Click kind of coming up and maybe taken away from Bammer here a little.
Well, once again, I'm not surprised. Not surprised one bit.
Richard says, very off topic. Why do you think Jerry Lynn never got a good push in WB, WCW? Such a great guy, willing to do anything.
Right, and I think that's probably why, because he is a great guy and he is willing to do anything. And I don't know. I mean, I have no reason either, because he could work with anybody and he could do anything. But I have no idea.
Matthew is saying, hi, cousin. Philadelphia tomorrow is Uncle Dan's birthday. Are you familiar with Uncle Dan?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you knew him personally. He was telling you,
I
reminding you of something there.
no.
Jeff's Variety Channel. Do you see the wrestler Easy Money getting back in the ring with any of the big promotions? Man, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Jason Jett, Easy Money.
Wow, how old is Jason now? How old would he be? Do you think?
Ooh, I would say somewhere around 45, 50, I would imagine. Somewhere in that
That's yeah. I mean, that's
and 20 years ago he was in awesome shape, but I mean, this is 2023 now here we're talking.
right, right. And there's a few guys out there doing it still, and can go even in their 60s and 70s. But I think that's up to Easy Money.
That style that he was doing though, that was very athletic, a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't
I
know
don't
if I don't know if he would get back with any of the WWE or
AEW.
AEW, but Impact, I could see
Hmm.
something like that.
Hey, shout out from Jean Batista Melgar in the Philippines.
Philippines,
And he says idol. He got a little muscle there. Nice.
nice.
Magazine retriever. Bam Bam was ahead of his time in many ways. He did moves uncharacteristic of a big man, had flames on his outfit and a tattooed head. All of that was imitated by other wrestlers.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
When it worked, yeah, when it worked for one guy, the other guy's going to try it too, see if he can outdo it or do it better.
Richard wants to know your thoughts on CTE. Any concerns there or worries about it? And should WWE be held responsible?
Well, especially what we've learned over the years about CTE, there is reason to be concerned about it. Um, at the same time, it's the same way I feel about football or any other contact sport. Uh, that's what the sport is. It's contact,
Yeah,
and
you know what you're getting into.
you know what you're getting into. So even starting out as a young kid, um, whether it's boxing or karate or something like that, where you're going to take contact to the head or face, um, you do your best to block it and you do your best to do it safely. But I don't think WWE should be held responsible for anybody who gets CTE. The same as the NFL can't be held responsible for football players getting the same thing happening, and it is a concern. And I don't think anybody's really doing chair shots today, are they? Except maybe is Moxley doing chair shots?
Once in a while, yeah, but supposedly recently they were saying that AEW is trying to pull back on that kind of stuff.
Right. So I mean, it's been addressed. I know it's been addressed in WWE.
Yeah, you're
So
not allowed to do in WWE. Yeah.
right. So I don't. I think you know what you're getting into, and you need to assume you need to assume the risk when you get in there. Nobody's making you go. You signed up for this.
Did Andre know he was a huge draw and that allowed him to have more leverage backstage?
Yes, he did. He was very much aware.
Your thoughts on deathmatch wrestling, and do you think it hurts the business?
I don't think it helps the business, and I'm not a big fan of deathmatch wrestling. It's it really takes no talent or no thought process to just hit each other with light tubes. or death match, doing the barbed wire and the glass and stuff like that. I understand it's a niche audience, and I understand it's a niche style, but it's not my taste, not my flavor of ice cream, and it doesn't take any talent to do it. And anybody can do that stuff. That's not wrestling. It's not even that entertaining in my view. And this is a guy who has watched G.G. Allen and understood he was about shock and awe and all that stuff.
Yep,
But
definitely.
I don't want to death matches. It's a I don't understand what the idea is except just to get bloody. Two guys going in the ring. Seriously, this was the last one I saw. Is they just had a box of light tubes. One
Right.
that just hit it over the guy's head. The guy said, "Okay, now you hit me," and he hit his with his box of light tubes, and they hit each other with the whole box of light tubes, just saying, "Here, you hit me, I'll hit you," and it made no sense. And sometimes I will watch stuff that makes no sense, but this is just I had no idea where they were going, except it's just
It,
somebody doing this stupid shit.
since Pat Patterson was the ref for LT and Bam Bam, did Vince do that just to help out LT? Basically, have Pat in there as the guy who's probably orchestrating or helping out format the
Sure.
match and set up the match.
Yeah, sure. Definitely something that's something Vince did to help out LT.
How did Bam Bam act on the road while in the car? Did he talk about New Jersey, played music, crack jokes?
We talked about everything, whatever was happening that day, and nothing out of the ordinary. Didn't talk about jerseys all that much. We played music too and just talked.
I missed this before, by the way, from the King of Kingsport, Bo James, Jason Jett, aka Easy Money, 51. 51
Well,
years old.
then, if he's in shape, then I mean that's up to him. But I think the question was, would he go to any of the big companies? I don't know. 51
Joe
is
Root saying Jerry Lynn was a very good wrestler, by the way. Just throw
yes,
that
he
out there.
was. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Scorch, I thought Bam Bam had great in ring chemistry with the one man gang. I enjoyed their matches. I agree.
I agree too.
Kane is coming to the ECW Arena in October. You should come too. You'll be close to me and John. Well, yes, true. New
Well,
Jersey boys,
yes.
me and Ibsen. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have to get the invite from those guys at the ECW arena.
Sam, do you see Buff Bagwell getting back in the ring?
I heard Buff won't get back in the ring. I heard Buff was pretty uh, still suffering from the car wreck, so I don't know that he'll get back in the ring.
Barbara, Sting is in his mid 60s. Do you recommend someone that age taking bumps?
No, I don't. I don't recommend it, but Sting's a different kind of animal too.
Phil is saying, I know what this is Uncle Dan before. He's talking about Dan Murad from Boston Wrestling, former colleague and former co host of Phil.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Dan had passed away. Or what? Dan didn't. Yeah. When did
Yeah,
Dan pass away?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember when. Interesting. We're going to have to get more information. Maybe Phil knows. We're going to have to get more info on that. Doing my best says forget deathmatch. Thoughts on children being showcased in pro wrestling matches. Is that a thing? Kids are being showcased in wrestling matches?
I didn't know that was a thing. I had no idea. Um,
I have no idea either. Maybe some
where,
clarification.
where where would these children be featured at? What
Yeah, let's get some
promotion? Yeah.
clarification.
Okay.
Good question here. How did Luna get in the Hall of Fame before Bam Bam?
Well, they inducted her.
Well, I know what he means, though. He should have been in a long time. I mean, it's just
Well,
weird who
sure.
gets picked and who doesn't. Very weird that he's not in.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things that hey, who can we put in? And everybody puts names down. Some people get omitted and unwittingly omitted, I guess. But I don't think. Well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of slide it would be.
Have you had any of your students go get picked up by any of the big promotions?
Yes, Ivy Nile, Emily
NXT.
Anzulis, yeah.
Yep.
Uh, Stacks with
NXT.
Tony. Yeah,
Tony
yes.
D'Angelo in
Sorry,
NXT.
Tony
Yep.
D'Angelo, and we've had some people try out for AEW. We've had people be extras at WWE, Raw and SmackDown. Um, so yeah,
Kenzie
the
Page and Thrillbilly are dominating NWA right now. Both are champions.
NWA, that is true. Oh my gosh, we got a bunch of guys in NWA. AJ Kazana and his brother KC Kazana.
There was a couple other guys you trained. I forget their names. I think it was The Rock, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry, Brackus. There was a Kurt Angle. There was a bunch of other guys. Yeah, yeah.
They're still doing okay for themselves. Yeah,
Interesting question from James May. What happened to Ric Flair's podcast? Yeah, he doesn't do it anymore.
I don't know what
I think
happened to
Connie
the
said Flair was too busy. He was like promoting Woo Energy and that CBD stuff that he has. I don't think he's ever around anymore. It seems like he's always promoting something.
Well, that makes about sense. That makes a lot of sense too.
DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, said Bam Bam could get into the bars in New Jersey when he was 15 because he was such a big fellow.
Well, if he's that big a guy, why not use it to his advantage?
So my wife's uncle went to high school with him, the Neptune High School. I know they say Beach from the East, Asbury Park, but he's really from Neptune. And he said, like, sometimes they go to parties and stuff, and they were buddies. And obviously, my wife's uncle is a lot smaller than Bam Bam, but he said that like fights and stuff would break out sometimes, and he would just hide behind Bam Bam. And Bam Bam would either clear the way or just make sure nobody hit him. But he was saying, he's like, man, he was a force to have on your side if anything went wrong,
Yeah,
because nobody was messing with him. And if they did, he said he was like, I couldn't hurt him. He was just a beast, literally the
yeah,
beast.
yeah, yeah. That sounds like Bam Bam.
And oddly enough, my wife's brother's ex-boss married Bam Bam's ex-wife. So it was an interesting little tie into Bam
Whoa.
Bam around here. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of weird stuff with Bam Bam, but love Bam Bam.
It's a small world, John.
Oh, big time, big time. Jeff says, Tom, thank you for all your years of dedication to the business. I really enjoyed your run at Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I've seen you too many times at the Freedom Hall. Nice.
Freedom Hall in Johnson
JC,
City.
yeah, Johnson City,
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I like that building. I really did.
I think he's seen you too many times, but yes.
Yeah, said so many times.
Dan Marotti passed away in the shower last year. Sadly, I watched his program 2 days before he passed, and Phil saying Dan passed in March of 2022.
Whoa. Okay. Well.
Doing my best is saying that children are in GNW because we asked them what promotion. I have not seen any children in any wrestling federations, but I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Yeah.
I have not either.
Interesting. Dr. Tom, one thing I don't see in pro wrestling anymore is the test of strength where two opponents lock fingers and try to overpower each other. Do JPWA wrestlers do the test of strength?
Scorch. We just did the test of strength this Saturday night in a match. Yes, we did. We did a test of strength in a tag match. So yes, we will. We'll break out some old school holds, old school moves, but we also stick to the basics and fundamentals. But yeah, we did the test of strength just this last Saturday night.
Love it. Hogan and Warrior, very infamously at WrestleMania 6, test of strength. Maybe the most famous test of strength.
Probably.
Ibsen says nobody knows if Dan slipped, had a heart attack, etc. Interesting.
Well, they do now, Ibsen.
Yeah. Barbara's throwing this in there. Huge miscarriage of justice that Dr. Tom is not in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't know what to tell you on that one, Barbara.
Did Dr. Tom train Ivy Nile, future champion? Yes. Yes, he did. We were just saying it. Yes.
Yes.
Also, she's thrown in there, please ask Dr. Tom why nobody uses the head claw anymore.
Well,
Baron Von Raschke
because
and the Von Erich.
yeah, because that lost its credibility a long time ago. I mean, you used to have guys who could crush apples in their hands. You know, Nikolai Volkov could do that, crush apples in his hands. I think a few other people, uh, maybe Ivan Koloff or Ivan Putski or somebody else would crush the apples and show you their grip. But most of the time, it was just a phony looking hold, and it went out probably in the 80s.
With the
Von
Von
Erichs,
Erich.
yeah, the Von Erichs were still using it for a while, but then figured now it's a little too dated, you know.
The test of strength. Stevie Richards did a video on YouTube yesterday, he's saying.
See, even Stevie's thinking about it.
Yeah, interesting.
Right.
He does some good stuff, some good videos sometimes over there. Stevie, got to give him some credit.
Good.
Del Mountain saying he'd love to test of strength between Warlord and Davy Boy Smith, the British Bulldog.
Well, those are two big guys testing each other in the test of strength. So, yeah.
What was Cornette's impressions of Bam Bam? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. I'm gonna have to.
I think Jim liked Bam Bam. Yeah, I don't think they had any problems whatsoever, and I would think Jim especially would appreciate Bam Bam's uh, movement back then.
Have pile drivers been outlawed? As far as I know, in
Yes,
WWE, yes. Not in AEW, but WWE, yes.
yes, 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 yes.
ATF is back. He loves Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin. He said he heard when Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin used a head claw, he gave 2 people lobotomies. Is that true? Can anybody confirm? I can confirm that is true.
It is true. Yes, I keep seeing the same two people every day.
How many people would have beat Dr. Death Steve Williams in a test of strength? Thank you.
Well, I don't think too many people because Doc was a pretty strong guy, so I don't think too many people could beat Doc in test of strength.
I thought I saw something here from Richard. Oh, he did. Yeah. Do you teach your students, or do your students pick your brain on how to act backstage?
Yes, we talk about how to act backstage. Not everybody applies the knowledge, and some people are complete idiots. But we do explain how to talk and react and act backstage.
They have in the OVW Wrestlers Netflix documentary, they do have a part where they send some guys to AEW to Dark. And basically, the owner, Matt Jones, and Al Snow are kind of saying, like, okay, we got to send the guys that can actually act professionally and know what to do backstage because we don't want to
Right.
send goofballs over there and they're going to act. And then AEW's be like, all right, we're not working with you guys anymore. You know, that kind of
Yeah, exactly. So yes, we do talk about what to do backstage.
Did you like when Skip teamed up with Bam Bam Bigelow and ECW? A little bit of triple threat with Candido, Shane Douglas, and Bam Bam.
Yeah, I thought they made a great team. I thought that was a great faction. I
Do
really
you
did.
do you consider Bam Bam a former world heavyweight champion, considering he was the ECW heavyweight champion?
Well, let me see. Terry Funk was an ECW champion, right?
Yes.
Shane Douglas was a champion.
Yes. Taz.
Okay. Who?
Taz.
Taz. Okay. So for the ECW World Championship, yeah, I'll consider him a world champion under the ECW banner.
Riff Raff Rackus. Did you ever work with the legend Tim Horner in Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Yes.
Do you love Tim?
I loved him with all my heart.
Do you agree that he might have the best voice in the history of wrestling as far as singing voice?
I don't agree with that in one bit, John. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you even bring that up and say that about Tim. He stinks on ice. He couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. That son of a gun. Well, neither can I. But yeah, but no, Tim can't sing for nothing.
Phil says Harley Race once brought Bill Kazmar to his knees. Bill was the world's strongest man at one point. Is that
Yeah,
true? Really, Harley Race? Wow.
I don't know if that happened, but I know who Bill Kazmaier was. I met
Yeah.
Bill. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe
Do you think ECW killed the business in the 90s?
I don't. I don't think ECW killed the business at all. I think it enhanced it.
How so?
Well, I think weren't they the first guys to make going through a table the thing?
Kind of,
Well,
yeah. I mean, kind of
yeah,
popularized there for sure. Yeah,
popularized that shit. So, how many times do people go through tables?
a million.
You know, yeah. I mean, it's really lost its effect. But at the same time, ECW is revolutionary in a way. You had Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero go out there and have these matches, and you had Steve Austin when he was fired go out and make these promos. You had Cactus Jack and Terry Funk. You had some buzz going on around there. So it was this band of outlaws that nobody else wanted. These misfit hooligans, hoodlums.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were talented, and you had a rabid fan base at that ECW arena. So I don't think it killed the business. It brought new things into the business that made it exciting for the time. It wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but it certainly had its place. I don't think it killed the business.
Did Bam Bam and Vader ever hook up? Yes, in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They were a great tag team, former IWGP Tag Team Champions, and back in the late 80s when Vader was kind of first really kind of making a huge name for himself in New Japan, he was the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Bam Bam Bigelow. So they more or less teamed, I'd say, way more often, but they did wrestle as well. Great tag team. Them and the Steiner brothers, if you can find it on YouTube, they always had awesome matches together, believe
Ooh,
it or not. With the
yeah,
Steiners throwing those two big boys around.
yeah,
Harley Race had double tendon strength, just like Danny Hodge in his hand.
yeah, yeah. He had those kind of tricks. Yeah,
Did
Danny
you?
Hodge was another to crush the apples.
Oh, and
Yeah,
somebody wrote before Black Jake Mulligan could do that too with his hands.
right.
Did you love your match against Skip in '97 at the ECW Arena?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I really did.
Should have brought you back for more. You were too busy training and doing other stuff for WWF.
Yeah, I'd had enough.
Richard says, thank you both for being so kind and answering the questions. Thank you, Richard. Great questions. KPB Station. Evening, gentlemen. Great to see you both. Greetings from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Before we wrap it up, Dr. Tom, I got to ask you this because I know you love yourself some Matt Riddle. Did you see what was going on with him and the cop at
I
JFK?
did. What was
What
that
was your take
about?
on that? Yeah, what was your take on that?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, they came and got him and asked him. He was being unruly. Is that what it was?
And then he said that the guy like groped him.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that. I mean, would he be frisking him or would he
I
be
guess.
checking him? Would he be patting him down?
I guess. Knowing him, God knows he probably smelled like weed or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
that
they're probably
too.
checking him. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that too. But also, I don't know why Matt would want to put that on Twitter or wherever he put it.
yeah. Then he deleted it, and then all of a sudden he got pulled from TV. So then supposedly he has pneumonia. But I don't know. It's like kind of all seem to be not pointing and looking in a good direction for Riddle there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
And
that
he's
just
gotten
sounds
in
kind of
trouble in the past with allegations against him. So to kind of flippantly joke around like that, it's like, oh God, Riddle, what are you doing?
well. Yeah, was he flippantly joking around?
I don't know. He kind of was saying it it seemed like he was kind of like joking, like, "Hey, man, what are you doing at the JFK airport? They sexually harassed you when they're frisking you."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. I didn't know what the tone was. I just knew that he said he got sexually assaulted.
Weird.
But
I thought you would love that because I know you love how he used to kick the flip flops off and
well, yeah, who doesn't?
and birds or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
that's
Barbara's
great.
throwing in there. Didn't Terry Funk pile drive Ric Flair through table 989? The table didn't even shatter. Yes, that is true. That
Yes.
was a great setup to their feud. Yes.
Yeah, back in the old days when they had those really sturdy tables because they didn't want anybody to break them. Now it's just the opposite.
Oh, here we go. Another one. Please tell us where Dr. Tom can get that great wrestling book, a must have for any future world champion, bigger than Hulk Hogan. Where can they get
Oh,
your book, Dr.
well,
Tom?
how about this? You can go to jpwrestlingacademy.com, click on the training tab at the top, and that'll take you right to my book. You can order it, and it'll get to you within, I don't know, about a week. But that's jpwrestlingacademy.com. Also, if you are looking to train, check out the training tab, and it'll tell you all about.
Just CPB says young people on social media equal toxicity. Just want to throw that out there because Jason said Riddle's Twitter post came off like Eric Cartman would say after being caught after doing something bad.
Well, okay.
How do we get an autographed copy of the book?
Just email me at jpwrestlingacademy at gmail.com and then with the heading autograph book.
Nice. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. Check out the website, tmptempire.com. You can follow Dr. Tom on Twitter at Dr. Tom Pritchard. Anything else going on in this crazy world?
We're just getting ready to wrap up this 12-week session and go into our fall session coming up for JPWA in a couple weeks, and looking forward to it.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. We'll see you right back here next week for a little Take You to School with Dr. Tom Pritchard. We'll see you next week, folks.